This is the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
You posted a funny video yesterday. You're a good content creator. Has anyone ever told you that?
There was a lady in the comments yesterday that said, you deserve a blue check in TikTok.
That's nice.
Yep.
So Ryder posted a video about his daughter's jacket.
Her favorite winter jacket.
The best winter jacket. And it was kind of a PSA for people that are dealing with blizzards that aren't used to it. Like people in Texas, Louisiana. So I laughed so hard at the end. I wasn't expecting it because I know her winter jacket and I know it's a good one. So I was like, this is kind of a strange video to post, but go for it. And then the plot twist at the end was Ryder was just holding up a hanger and it was empty because teenagers don't wear jackets, even when they have a really nice one.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, we were all there too. Don't you remember being the kid that didn't wear their jacket?
No, I had to always wear my winter jacket because inside the breast pocket is where I hid my cigarettes.
Oh, touche.
Yeah, so
touche.
I remember the coat vividly.
I think there's this hatred to a big clunky winter jacket because a lot of us would wear it on like a field trip or something, but then you'd have to be forced to carry it everywhere inside the building, which was super annoying.
And like this winter, there's only been probably 10 days where a winter jacket is essential unless you're spending a lot of time outside, right? Like There's only been a few days that have been below minus 15 this winter. But yeah, she'll walk outside if it'll be minus 42. And
she's like, all right, let's go. And she's just wearing a hoodie.
What the hell are you doing? What's
No
wrong
toque,
with you?
No mittens, no scarf, nothing.
So I've started packing things in the car. Like I have an extra jacket of hers in the trunk just in case there's ever road troubles. Because I know there's going to be a lot of times where I don't realize
she's not wearing
one until we're 10 minutes into wherever we're going.
Anyway, the video is super relatable. If you're listening right now and you didn't get a chance to see it, text us right now and I'll send it right to your phone and it'll give you a little lol.
Thank you, by the way.
It's super funny.
It's nice. I think most listeners would agree with this. It's pretty rare to hear you talk nice about me.
Yeah, so don't get used to it.
It's Play 107. We're Ryder and Lisa. Thank you for checking out the show.
That song reminds me of when I started working here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like when I was just on the street team and it was so cold out and I was working the Drake concert outside of Rexall Place where we were just standing outside handing out stickers for our radio station and it was so cold. And that was the song that was playing when I was driving the work vehicle. It was like one of my first shifts. And I was like, this sucks. That's what I said. It was so cold out.
You built it up like it was going to be this inspirational moment.
I was like, this is terrible.
And that's when I realized I had found my path. No, this sucks.
I was like, I wish I had mittens. Anyway.
Awesome. It is crazy how songs can just bring you back, hey?
To a certain moment in your life.
Every time I hear Miss Jackson by Outkast, I am, what's the word? Thrown? There's got to be a better word than that. Catapulted back to Poland. I was living there on an exchange program, and that song got huge here in North America while I was gone. And back then, you didn't have internet. Like, you didn't have... I mean, there was internet, but not like social media and whatnot.
It was the radio DJs that made songs go viral.
And I don't even know if streaming other stations was a thing back then. So
no, definitely not.
No idea about this song. And then all of a sudden, it went wild in Poland. But the thing is, most of that song is fairly conversational. It's like a story, and it's a lot of talking. The majority of the people I was around didn't speak English. But they were all super into that song. So with their broken English, they were trying to sing along to it. And I heard so many invented words because people just love the vibe of the song, right?
It's a good one.
Didn't have any idea what it was about. And yeah, every time I hear that song, I can almost smell the air over there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I
love that about music.
Music and scents really are two of the things that I immediately feel like I'm back somewhere else when I hear it or smell it. This sucks.
That's how I feel. When I hear that song, I'm like, oh, that was cold that day.
You have discovered something that really elevated your workout yesterday.
Yeah, so I watched a girl who was on the Stairmaster, and she was asking how do you stay on? How do you stay motivated? Because as soon as I get on a Stairmaster, it's embarrassing. I get off after 2 minutes. The comment section was flooded with incredible tips.
Sorry, let me try this again. This is a video about a Stairmaster that you watched?
A woman is on it asking her followers, how do I stay motivated to stay on this? And this podcast was recommended.
Okay. Sorry, you don't have to get mad. You made it sound like there was a woman at the gym on the Stairmaster, and I was like, how were people responding to her?
Do you want to take this outside?
Was she yelling, what do I do on a Stairmaster? Like you didn't...
I didn't specify that it was a video I watched?
Correct.
Well,
So
then...
I was just trying to get to the bottom of that to help the listeners understand as well. Because that's who I care about.
Okay. Anyway, this specific podcast was recommended, and I listened to it while I was on the treadmill, and I wanted to run through a wall.
It's good, eh?
It's so good. So I wanted to air a little bit of it on the show coming up next, but we should also ask our listeners, what motivates you to stay on a treadmill or on a Stairmaster or on your outdoor walk?
Sure. You came across a playlist.
It's a podcast, but it's
An episode, yeah.
It's an episode that's a compilation of motivational speeches. And it's mostly this guy named David Goggins. And I was watching this video on TikTok of a girl talking about this guy. She's like, yeah, I mentioned him to my girlfriends, how I stay motivated on the Stairmaster as I listen to him talk. And all of her friends were like, what? What do you mean you listen to this? And I was so intrigued. I was like, well, I need to know what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to a David Goggins motivational speech podcast episode, and I wanted to run through a wall. So I wanted to air a little bit of it, but we're also asking you what motivates you to keep going. And I'm laughing so hard at this one text that just rolled in from Kim that said, once I get on a Stairmaster, it's too embarrassing for me to get off before someone that's on the Stairmaster beside me. So there's a competition element.
Little healthy competition.
Yep.
I don't mind that. I creep too to see like what level people are running at or on the elliptical at, and I just set mine one more.
Or I like to look over and see how long they've been on it, and I go, oh, interesting. Okay, I need to get to that amount of minutes.
I'll even do that in the sauna.
What?
I'll make sure that I stay longer
No.
than anybody else that comes in.
You're going to faint.
Yeah, but
It's
I
not
sweat.
worth it.
I sweat her out. All right, you want to hear some of this? This is the podcast episode Lisa found.
And I listened to it yesterday when I was on the treadmill, high incline, going pretty fast. And I bet I looked insane, but I didn't care. I was giving her.
Lock in. Focus. If you keep talking and never doing, you're going to get exactly what you got each and every year before. Nothing.
If your if ain't strong enough, you'll never get to your then.
Lock in.
You can get anything you want.
No breakdowns, only breakthroughs. Keep pushing, keep grinding, keep striving, and you will see where your life takes you. Heights you never thought you would reach. Places you never thought you would go. Your bank account on extra large. Your life on inner peace. Your life on serenity. Your life on get up, get out, and get after it. This is a great year to win.
I didn't really get the bank account part.
Well, he's just saying once you're motivated, like at the fullest, you're gonna find inner peace. You're gonna get rich.
So there's also different voices on this. It's a 40-minute long podcast. Some of them are professional athletes with some of their most iconic quotes of
Movie quotes,
being fit.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it because I was pumped. There was one part in it where he's like, you want to just sit on your couch and scroll your phone? No, get up. And I'm like, I would listen to this while scrolling my phone and it would motivate me to get up. So we're asking you what motivates you to keep going.
Lindsay says that she has a Netflix show that she can only watch while on the treadmill. That's a rule. So it does make her get off the couch because she wants to go
and watch her show.
The next episode.
I have so much respect for people that are on the Stairmaster or the treadmill that have their phone and they're watching, even if it's trash TV. I'm like, I know that they're only watching. This is their only time to watch this. Mm-hmm. So get it. It's so smart.
Anything that can help, right? If you'd like the link to Lisa's episode.
It gets better and better. I'm not joking. There are some points in it where you have goosebumps and you're like, I can achieve anything. I can be the fittest possible. 2025 is my year. Like, this is going to be, if you ever see me in the gym, that's what I'm listening to.
Well, if you ever see you in the gym and you're going hard.
Yeah, that's it.
If you're ever in there and you're just
kind of lazy, you should yell at me and say, put on your podcast, Evans.
Yeah. I had a near-death experience I wanted to talk about.
Oh, sorry. I should have said something right away. It sounded like I didn't care. Well, I was reading a message I got on Instagram. I didn't understand it. But now I get it. Anyway, okay, sorry. You almost died? What? Sorry.
Wow. So much compassion.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I did.
What happened?
I ate a bacon-wrapped scallop too fast.
Well, you left the toothpick in.
I almost did. I like them so much, but the thing about them that's scary is they're 3/4 slippery, but 1/4 crispy and kind of like sticky. You know what? If you get it going down the hatch.
Sorry, which part is sticky?
Well, like the bacon.
Like maple bacon.
Sure, but just like I had barbecue sauce in the bacon that I caramelized, if we need to get into specifics. But so that when it's going down the hatch, the scallop part wants to just rip.
It's like going down a slide.
Yeah, but it's like going down a slide if you're wearing a rubber jacket.
It's like going down a slide if you're in cargo pants. Lots of buttons.
Sure, just things to get held up. Anyway, so as it's going down, I realized, I probably should have chewed that. Like I was taking them in pill form. That's how much I like that.
I hate that feeling when it's already past.
Yeah. And you're like, do I
the point of no return. There's a point of no return.
There is. And anyway, she got caught. And it took me probably, like I was fine. I was breathing. It didn't like lodge itself in there. But
you felt it.
I felt uncomfortable. And like at any moment, I thought I was going to drown on bacon. Like it felt like it went down the wrong hatch entirely. And I was like,
where is it?
Do people normally have to go in and get bacon wrapped scallops surgically removed from their lung?
Listen, I have nurse friends and they've seen everything.
Bet they've never seen that. Anyway, I thought, you know what? I bet a lot of people have had this experience with bacon wrapped scallops because of their slipperiness, yet clingfulness.
So what do you want to ask? You want to ask our listeners specifically if they have choked on a bacon wrapped scallop? Like, I'm bored. I'm going home if that's our topic today.
No, my question was going to be, what have you choked on or nearly choked on?
Oh, okay, got it.
Oh, now you're back. Now you're interested because you have a story.
I actually don't.
780-784-7107. I'm sure a lot of people do. What have you nearly choked on?
I chew my food. I'm a lady.
I've seen you with a bag of popcorn. I don't know if I'd call that chewing or a lady. That you are a vacuum cleaner.
Hoover Evans.
Talking about things you've choked on or almost choked on. This after I got a bacon wrapped scallop in my throat over the weekend, and it took me a long time to feel okay. We got a text that says, I've choked on a bacon wrapped scallop to the point of needing a Heimlich.
Oh my gosh.
Scared me so bad I haven't eaten one since. I told you.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I was like, I bet this is common because they're kind of slippery.
I was like, there's no way. You know what's a popular answer rolling in that shocks me? Peanut butter. Peanut butter, because it does get stuck.
Yeah.
But to the point where it's painful. Like Liz said, she was eating a peanut butter sandwich and it kind of like went up her nose and was super painful. Barry, who tunes into the show from Texas, said a bagel with fat-free peanut butter, choked on that.
No kidding.
This text from Brad is kind of ironic, and I wonder if Brad has realized that. Choked on a bunch of Lifesaver candies. My mom had to do the Heimlich maneuver, but
really?
like they're literally called Lifesavers. And you almost died. What a way to go.
My grandpa choked on a piece of steak once, and in his generation, being vulnerable was not a thing. Like,
So being able to say, hey, I'm choking, saying somebody help me is just not an option for the guy.
nope. So he quietly got up from the table, removed himself from the room. My mom was there, who is a nurse, could have very easily dislodged the thing immediately. He walks himself outside and then starts ramming his chest against his truck to try to, like, give himself the Heimlich maneuver, I guess. He ended up breaking a couple ribs. He got it out, but that's how proud he was not to seem vulnerable
Wow.
at the dinner table.
Aren't you so glad that he figured out how to get it out, even though he hurt himself
we
in
were
the
like,
process?
where did Grandpa just go? And then breaking ribs is where he went.
Martin wrote in, I almost died choking on salmon. Dry salmon that I warmed up in the microwave. I was by myself. And I thought to myself in that moment, am I going to die this way alone? It was also my kid's birthday the next day, so I was freaking out. I finally got it out. I was in shock for about 3 hours after that. It was the worst moment of my life, and I didn't touch salmon for about a year after that.
It is
It's scary.
incredibly scary.
The most common items that kids choke on, hot dogs, and believe it or not, carrots. Because when you chew them, they kind of turn into little slivers if they're not chewed up properly. And I think a lot of parents know that there's certain foods that when you are feeding it to your toddler, they have to be cut up in a certain way.
Well, hot dogs are just the exact right size to get lodged in a windpipe, for sure, right? And glizzies, they're slippery.
There's a lot of other foods too that you wouldn't expect that you have to mash up, you have to cut up. I think there's even certain fruits that they say mash up, like blueberries. They say to not give them whole to a kid, like kind of squish them down with a fork first.
I actually find it quite surprising that taking CPR isn't mandatory when you are going to be a parent.
Everybody should know how to help someone when they're choking.
When you go to the classes about giving birth and stuff, CPR should just be something that everybody has to get. I mean, I would say a mandatory thing to take in school should be CPR. I don't know if that is the case. It wasn't when we were in school.
Thanks to everyone texting in. Yeah, the other fruit, if you are listening and maybe you aren't aware of it, that you have to cut up when you're serving it to a kid are grapes.
Okay.
You cannot give them a whole grape. You're not supposed to.
Slippery and, again, just that right size. 780-784-7107. What have you choked on or nearly choked on?
Bubble tea.
So, okay, so obviously those little bubbles that are in it, what happened?
It's like I'm a cat with a hairball with a bubble tea. It's not right. I drink it, I try to swallow it, and I can't swallow it.
So is it when they like come projectile
Up the
shooting
straw.
out the straw and you don't expect them?
One who shot through my nose, too.
We might just actually make the full transition to food influencers here.
Yeah, it's no big deal or anything.
We got some serious link clicks.
Link clinks.
Link clinks on our recent posts. I made that viral Turkish pasta.
Yeah, and I made a high protein buffalo chicken dip.
I feel like mine's viral and yours is everybody's favorite snack, buffalo chicken dip. Lately, it seems like it's the hot snack.
It will always be the best snack.
But it's relatively new.
The buffalo chicken dip?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay, we're talking...
It's been around for a decade.
Versus other food that's out there, 10 years is new.
You're just mad that mine got more link clinks than you.
How long people have been making apple pies?
A long time.
I wouldn't dare to say that they're new.
Because apple pies used to be in cartoons when we were a kid, where the apple pie would go on the windowsill.
Right.
It was the only way to cool it off.
Buffalo chicken dip is a newer popular dish.
You're mad that I got more link clinks than you.
Don't call them link clinks.
Well.
That's my word. Anyway, if you want to see those two dishes, play107.com is where you can find them.
Yep.
On the way next, we have an update on what shook down at Rogers Place with somebody throwing nachos on the ice. It's a wild ride. We'll get to it next. Apparently, the nachos that were thrown onto the ice at Rogers Place were not tossed by a grumpy Oilers fan, which is great because the team is almost in first place in the Pacific Division, having a pretty solid year.
Did the DJ play Nacho Man while the staff were cleaning it up? Because if not, that's a missed opportunity.
Huge miss.
Huge.
Yeah. It turns out it was actually a Washington Capitals fan who just got absolutely turboed in the stands. And
Well,
I wonder if maybe this is an American that came up here and was not used to 5.5% beer.
And also not used to, in their mind, cheap beer prices. Wouldn't it be cheaper here to get a beer than it would in the States?
You're the only person who's ever called the beer at Rogers Place cheap
I know.
beer.
That's what I'm saying, though. Or are they really cheap? If you go to like a hockey game in the States, are beers only like $4 there?
I think they'd be like 12, but 12 American equals about 18, probably about the same as he was paying here.
Okay. Why don't I just go sit in the corner then and shut up?
Anywhere else, I think you have an argument, but you were comparing it to a place that's known for their high beer prices.
You're really
so
pissing me off today, you know.
I couldn't get behind it.
Someone
Sorry.
did. Someone listening did. They went, wow, that Lisa.
No, they didn't.
What a great observation.
No, they're like, I hate that I'm agreeing with Ryder again. Anyway, it was a disgruntled Washington Capitals fan that ended up getting banged up through his nachos.
His team lost.
I'm sorry to do this to you. Washington won. His team won. So
I'm actually going home. Like,
I didn't want to have to do that, but I know that the text line would have just lit us up if I didn't call you out on that.
Everyone hates me.
So the guy ends up getting called out. Like, if you're in a Washington Capitals jersey and you throw something on the ice during the game, security is going to be able to find you very easy because there's going to be 75 people pointing their finger at you.
Yeah, you got cheese sauce down your chin.
Right. So they pull this guy out.
Blackout wasted.
Apparently he was, pretty reasonable on his walk out, but then police wanted to talk to him when he got to the top, and he freaked out, and they tased him. And I'm hearing from people that were in the concourse at the time that police ended up having to tase him 5 times before he'd settle down.
How many tases does it take until you pee your pants?
2.
2.
Yeah, don't ask. This is going to terrify you. Apparently, Edmonton is dealing with something that we haven't dealt with in quite some time.
Rats.
Rare owls.
What kind of owls? How big are they?
They're huge.
No.
And they're the ones that have like the dinner plate face and like
Super
the
flat.
big yellow eyes, super flat face,
No.
and they just always look like they're judging you.
Owls are so scary to me. Yes, they're majestic and they're beautiful, but don't tell me that you would be calm if you came across an owl staring at you.
Well, and they're saying like we're getting absolutely hammered with them. I forget the wording that they used. What happens when like mice take over your house?
Infested.
Yes. I think that's the wording I read, that Edmonton is having an infestation problem with these great gray owls.
But are they doing anything wrong? I know they eat the mice.
They eat mice, which is maybe why they're here and not where they normally hang out, which is in more southern Alberta.
Okay.
But because of the amount of snowfall or something, maybe they're not getting the mice. There's also a scientist who said, we still don't really understand why they all congregate into place. They do, though, and we're not sure if it's just luck or they communicate with other owls about where they're going, which is also terrifying when you look at these things.
They're wise.
That they can communicate with each other. They do look wise, don't they?
They are.
Yeah.
That's why in any Disney movie, when there's an owl character,
Yeah.
it's the wise character.
So they're called great gray owls.
How big are they?
We're all big. They're big.
I guess I have to Google it. What are they called? Great gray owl?
Yeah.
Is it going to make me barf?
Yeah. The picture you're going to hate.
I can't.
They're scary looking
don't
things,
like that.
right? Yeah.
I don't like it.
Also, northern hawk owls. We're seeing a lot more of those. So social media has been flooded recently with photos of them.
Big birds.
Yeah.
Phobia for sure. Did you know that when an eagle spreads its wings, it's 7 feet?
Wow.
7 feet of wings.
It's like Shaquille O'Neal laying sideways. I was reading about this on Reddit, and one of the comments I thought you'd appreciate. So this is once again about the infestation of great gray owls. And he said, "My bad. I found a cursed monkey paw at a thrift store and I got to make a wish. I wish that Hooters would return to Edmonton, but I didn't mean this.
The Ryder and Lisa Podcast. Play 107.